Hollywood, California, 1925. The hearts and minds of America are enraptured by the wonder and magic of cinema. The vaudevillians of yesteryear became the film stars of tomorrow, and so it was with George Ghostly and Paul T. Geist. Paul Cleese and George Chapman were two boys from jolly old England who became fast friends, entertaining their crewmates on the HMS Neptune while serving in Her Majesty's Royal Navy during the Great War. After the war, Paul and George took to Hollywood and became George Ghostly and Paul T. Geist, the wisecracking, stick-slapping spirits that took the world by storm. The otherworldly antics of Ghostly and Geist became an instant success. Their meteoric rise to fame was brought on by the tireless efforts of world-renowned film studio executive Bobby Goodman, producer Hal Roach, and the intrepid young upstart Juliana Miller, the boys' faithful talent agent. But for all their fame and fortune, and the admiration of audiences the world over, the good times would soon come to an abrupt and tragic end. One fateful evening, while returning home from a night on the town, our friends Paul and George happened upon none other than Bobby Goodman himself, pickled, nearly unconscious in the passenger seat of his Isata Fraschini. With his automobile on the railroad tracks, a train fast approaching. Seeing their friend and mentor in danger, and with their senses dulled by an evening of Hollywood debauchery, the boys tried with all their might to save Goodman. They pushed and pulled, they tugged and they toiled, they kicked and cajoled until... With Paul and George's untimely deaths, so died an era of cinema. The world mourned our heroes, now as deceased as the characters that they in life so masterfully portrayed. They were buried side by side in Forest Lawn Memorial Park, a testament to their undying friendship in life and in the hereafter. And to this day, film lovers from every corner of the world come to pay their respects at the graves of George Ghostly and Paul T. Geist.
Mr. Brooks?
Miss Miller! Come in. We have much to discuss.
Hopefully not too much. I've got several major motion pictures on my hands that aren't going to cast themselves.
Well, I'll tell you what. You take every script that's on your desk right now and put them directly into the garbage. There's only one picture you need to worry about casting. This one.
Oh?
It's gonna be an instant smash hit. But I'll need the best. The cleverest, the funniest, smartest men you can find. I need...
And what's the title of this new picture?
Wait for it. The Cheeky Railway Ghost.
Oh, no.
The triumphant return of George Ghostly and Paul T. Geist in Technicolor.
No, Harold, you can't.
Can't? I can, and I will.
You can't. It's too soon. The wounds are too fresh.
Wounds? Whose wounds? The public's? When movie stars croak, the public mourns for about 10 minutes. It's been 2 years, Juliana. 2 years. That's centuries in Tinseltown. Look at it this way. Would Paul and George want us to sit around down in the dumps forever? No! They would want us to light a torch and carry on their legacy.
Their legacy should be left alone. And trains? Really, Harold, you don't think that's a bit in poor taste?
Poor taste? This is Hollywood. We don't make things in good taste. We make things that taste good.
Well, if you're so set on it, you can do it alone. I won't cast this film.
Juliana, could you do me a favor? Come here. Read this little thing for me.
Harold Q. Brooks, Chief Executive Officer.
That's right. Harold Q. Brooks, Chief Executive Officer. And as Chief Executive Officer, it's fairly safe to say that what I say goes. People do what I say when I say it. And if they don't, I'll find someone else who will. And me being who I am and knowing who I know, the chances of someone working in show business after being dismissed from my company for insubordination, well, let's say those are rather slim.
Understood.
Good. Somehow I knew you would. That'll be all, Miss Miller. Have no fear, Juliana. Ghostly and Geist shall rise again. And they're taking us with them.
Fade to scene 2. Afternoon, Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery. 2 headstones with grave bells are seen. Juliana stands nearby. One stone reads George, and the other reads Paul. On the bottom half, they both read, "We knocked 'em dead." Juliana places flowers at their graves and gives a light knock to each of the stones. Nothing happens. So then she rolls up her newspaper and hits both stones a few times. The boys metaphysically rise from their graves, rubbing their heads. They are dressed in 1920s style suits and are ghostly white in skin tone and fabric color.
Oh, did you really have to hit so hard?
It's quite a bit of a knock, love.
Well, if you'd answered the first time.
You should have rung the bell.
Man can't hear a knock very well from 6 feet under.
Are you boys nearly done? I'm sorry for the bump. I've had a rough morning.
What is it, Juliana?
Harold on your nerves again.
You could say that. He wants me to replace you.
Wants to replace us?
How's he propose? He's gonna do that? Who's he gonna replace us with? Some blokes from out here.
Ah, good heavens, just imagine it. American George Ghostly.
The name's Baldy Geist, and this here's a hot man.
You see how ridiculous it sounds? If I don't cast replacement, list me.
Ah, we're just having a bit of fun, love. Perhaps it wouldn't be so bad.
Blimey, another ghostly and Geist picture. What are they calling this one?
The cheeky railway ghost.
Oh! Ain't nothing sacred.
Not in Hollywood, evidently.
Has Hal heard about this? He's always been on our side.
I don't want to drag him into this. He's a good friend, and I don't want his career put at risk, too.
You know what I think? I think we should go over there and give him a good scare. Show him what happens when you ruin a good franchise.
I like that. We haven't given a bloke a proper fright since that night we all went out to Musso and Frank's and gave old Bobby Goodman the bill.
You think he'll change his mind?
Change it? Ha! My dear, he'll have lost it by the time we're done with him.
He'll be jumping at his own shadow.
All right, but be careful.
Careful, we're brown bread, love. There's nothing you can do to us.
Yes, you are ghosts. I suppose any doable damage has been done. All right, go do your worst. Scare the pinstripe pants right off him.
We'll catch up with you later and do our very best to describe the look on his face. After all this, perhaps we can have a dinner party.
That sounds nice.
Invite Zazu and Tom.
Paul.
Edna and Charlie.
Paul.
Stan, May, Oliver, Charlie, and James.
Paul!
Yes, George?
Juliana is the only one who can see us. You know that wouldn't work.
Well, of course our friends can't see us if we don't invite them over.
Don't worry,
whale or two, some shaking chains, and this whole mess will blow over.
Goodness, I sure hope so.
Fade to scene 3. Evening. Brooks is on the phone in his office. There is money, files, a diary, and a drinking glass on his desk. The sarcophagus of Pharaoh Menes is sitting against the wall.
Well, I don't give a hoot. Let Lo and Hal stew.
The boys arrive and listen through the barely open door.
They have no proof that Luke's death was my fault, and if they did, they wouldn't have waited 2 years to do something about it. Good. Let them. Have them call Hoover and Coolidge for all I care. Those men won't get a word out of me.
George leans in closer to the door.
Oi, don't give away the supplies now.
Don't worry, old sport. He won't notice us until we want him to. Now, the trick is to make sure there are no witnesses. We want him to think he's going mad, and the best way to do it is to get him while he's alone.
George accidentally bumps the door a little.
Hold on. Someone's here.
Brooks gets up and opens the door. The boys are stunned in clear view. He steps past them and looks around in the hall as they enter the room behind his back. George indicates Brooks to Paul as if to say, "See?" Brooks closes the door, sits down, and rejoins the phone conversation, and the boys lean against the office wall and listen.
Have you been going on this whole time? Goodness gracious, back to my point. Yes, I know, but those bricks... Oh, for crying out loud, can't you do anything right? Fine. Yes, okay. I love you too, Mother. Goodbye. Rotten broad. I love that woman.
Brooks puts the money, diary, and files in a locked drawer in his desk. The boys begin to creep up to him slowly, preparing to scare him.
Come in!
Handsome Johnny enters carrying a black briefcase.
H.I.V.
Handsome Johnny, how are you, friend? Good to see you.
Likewise, H.I.V. Likewise. It's been too long. How's you doing? How's the music business?
Mile a minute, Johnny, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good man. Good man.
Can I offer you a drink?
I'd be insulted if you didn't.
Go.
Who's this geezer supposed to be?
I don't know, but I don't like the look of him.
To a fruitful partnership.
Salute! Is that apple juice?
Expired.
What?
The best expired apple juice on the whole West Coast. Drink up.
Right.
Now, on to business. Look what I brought for you today.
Is that it?
What do you mean, is that it?
I thought it's just a box.
That's the beauty of it. This is a genuine sarcophagus from Egypt. A German friend of mine by the name of Ernst was making a film back in 21. Well, I asked, do you have any African connections or something? Some goods to get sent up from Egypt? And, well, a few ideas, a couple of phone calls or two, and I got this, alongside a couple of First Dynasty artifacts. I had them labeled as film props, of course. Then I went along my merry way. Leap forward to 22, when the film premiered in New York, Ernst ships me the artifacts as payment. And I keep them here at the studio to make sure they're not too hot to handle. Now, here it is. The sarcophagus of Pharaoh Menes of a unified Egypt.
Nice, Harold. Very nice indeed. And how much would I expect to pay for such a fine fee?
Well, if you were to purchase this from a typical dealer, you'd be looking at the hundreds of thousands. But I'm willing to part with it for you. For a mere 60 grand.
60 grand? HB, you got to be joking me. I'm not paying no 60 grand for this. Something that you got your hands on for free?
Easy, Johnny. That's just the price for my troubles. I kept that thing on ice for 5 years. That's an awfully long time to keep G-men from sniffing around a Hollywood studio. All I want is what's coming to me.
Handsome Johnny puts the briefcase on the desk and clicks it open.
By the gods, Paul, what have we stumbled into?
Blimey, I always knew that Brooks bloke was no good, but this here is right and proper sinister.
All right, HB. Tell you what, I could give you a cool, quick 60 grand right here, right now, and that'll be the end of it. It's all settled, right?
I like that.
Or you could give it to me for 40 grand, and my family let you use the harbor in New York again.
You got yourself a deal, handsome.
HB, I knew you'd come around. Little Eddie, come get the money.
Little Eddie enters the office with a hand truck and begins goofily struggling to move the artifact. The boys leave as Brooks and Handsome Johnny talk and laugh.
Oh boy, I think we stumbled upon much more than we bargained for.
Boy, Governor, what tipped you off? Was it the blokes from the mob or old China the Pharaoh back there?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
That they probably should have sent someone bigger than little Eddie to move a sarcophagus?
Well, yes, but my main thought is perhaps now we can do more than just scare Harold Brooks out of making that film. I think we've got a mystery on our hands.
What? What do you mean? We know he did it. Just saw him.
Well, yes, but now we've got to prove he's done it, don't we? It's an inverted sort of mystery. And of course, there's a matter of us being ghosts. Might make the investigation a bit more difficult.
I'll tell you, being dead has ruined my life.
Well, let's get to Juliana. She's going to want to hear this.
Right. Maybe we get a bite to eat on the way.
What? But Paul, we don't... You know, never mind. I've decided I don't want to get into this just now.
You know what I could go for is a nice meat pie. Why, I haven't had one of those since must have been about...
Fade to scene 4. Afternoon. Juliana is seated at a desk in a casting room near Brooks's office. She has a stack of papers in front of her and chews absently on a piece of stuffed celery.
Next. Next. Was that everyone?
You know, Paul, it hurts my feelings that the banker called us con men.
I know, George. I mean, even if we was lying, he'd see right through us.
Hey, that wasn't too bad. First good ghostly and Geist I've seen all day. Which number are you?
Number 1.
Oh, I'm not going to be no number 2.
Boys, thank goodness. It's been torture in here. All these Georges and Pauls are ghastly.
Oh, I love you say that like it's a bad thing.
Sorry, I mean, they're just awful. There's never going to be another two like you.
You can say that again. Why, we're the jewels in the crown, Britain's finest export.
The original and the immaculate. Well, our toners.
The news?
Quite right, Paul. Juliana, Paul and I have stumbled on something very, very big. In fact, you're going to want to be seated for this. Why are you sitting? You already know the shocking revelation.
I know, but me plate's hurt. Been walking around all day.
But you're a... Never mind. Right. So, Paul and I go to frighten the living daylights out of our old mate Harold Brooks, as we discussed. We arrive at his office, ready to give him a proper scare, and find him in the middle of a telephone conversation.
And he was angry. Very angry. Like a Bobby with a bunion.
He mentioned Lowe and Hal, and it sounded as though they suspect him of knocking someone off.
You don't say.
There's more to it. Just as he had hung up, and we were about to scare him out of his wits, in walks a mysterious Italian mob type with an even more mysterious briefcase.
And he was very handsome.
No?
No, Paul, that was his name.
Boy, the bloke went by the name of Handsome Johnny.
Handsome Johnny?
Sorry, love. Handsome Johnny.
Oh, no, Handsome Johnny? He's even worse.
You know him?
Yes, I know him. He does business with Kent Kane Parrott and Charles Crawford. He's one of the mob's heaviest lifters in LA, possibly in the whole US.
See, George, we was right. Handsome Johnny should have been carrying the sarcophagus instead of that other bloke.
I'm sorry, the what?
Oh, I said that one right, didn't I?
Sorry, old sport, it's not your pronunciation this time. Juliana's just startled because he hadn't gotten to that part yet. Brooks had been harboring a real Egyptian sarcophagus here at the studio, disguised as a film prop, and he sold it to Handsome Johnny.
Of course. By claiming their props, Harold could hide all kinds of rare artifacts here for as long as he wants, and sell them later for a profit. I'd be impressed if I wasn't so disgusted.
Now, Paul and I were thinking...
Well, George was thinking, and I just kind of stood near him.
Right.
I never think if I can avoid it. Too much thinking rots your brain.
Right, well, I was thinking, and Paul was standing, we should go after him. We should go after Brooks, bring him to justice, and preserve the good name of Ghostly and Geist as a cheeky bonus.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. We definitely should investigate further, but we don't want to do anything to arouse suspicion. Oh, right, I've got to take these headshots and resumes to Brooks' office. I'll go in, have a look around, and see if I can find anything noteworthy.
All right, but be careful. We don't want him to catch wise. I do hope she's quick in there. I don't like to think what Brooks may do to her if he catches her in the act. It's unfathomable, it's unimaginable, it's... Paul?
It's me!
No, Paul, you're eating.
Oh, of course I am, Governor. It's lunchtime, isn't it? How come you ain't eating?
No, Paul, ghosts can't pick things up. They can't hold food, much less eat it.
Well, blimey, Governor. Suppose I just forgot. Just slipped right out of my head. See? No, I'm done.
Paul, you're a poltergeist.
No, Gov. It's Paul T. Geist. It's a long T. See? I can be a stickler for pronunciation too.
No, I mean, you can interact with the physical world.
Well, that's cheeky, isn't it? Guess we proved those silly gastroenterologists wrong.
What?
I don't know. I read it in the paper. Woo, the paper. Oh, it's Friday. Uso and Frank's.
And?
The Friday special. All the Bay's muscles. $1.25.
Don't read it, old boy. It'll only upset you.
Look at that. Here's the French onion soup. It's back on the menu as well.
Really? May I see that?
George goes over to join Paul behind the newspaper, their attention held by its contents. They do not notice as Brooks strolls whistling past them towards his office. At this point, Juliana is crouched behind Brooks's desk, inspecting its locked drawer.
What the?
Hello, Mr. Brooks. I just came to drop off the paperwork for today's prospective cast when I dropped my glasses.
Dropped your glasses behind my desk.
I know, it's odd, but, you know, I tripped. I just tripped right over my own feet. Glasses came flying off. Really wish you could have seen it, sir. I really just, I must have looked a sight.
Yes, I'm sure.
I gotta get out of here. Is it coffee time yet? Okay, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Juliana!
Oh my goodness.
What happened, love?
Well, he did come in, but I don't think he suspects me of anything.
Did you find anything?
Well, I didn't see anything resembling any artifacts, no wall safes hidden behind paintings. I didn't get a chance to check the bookcase for secret passageways, so I guess we can't rule that out just yet.
Somehow I never figured Harold Brooks to be a secret passageway bookcase type of chap.
I've always found the man to be lacking in taste.
The only thing of note is the one locked drawer.
Well, now we know two things. One, he hides smuggled artifacts in the movie studio, disguised as props, and sells them to the mob for profit. And two, he's got some things he'd like to keep secret.
It's a start, but we're gonna need to find something concrete. I've gotta get out of here. I'll see you at home.
Enter!
Hi, boss!
Hi, boss!
What took you eggs so long?
Well, boss, I slipped on my way up, you see, and...
It was a rhetorical question.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Bob, how are you today?
Pretty good day, boss. I had salmon for lunch.
That sounds nice, Bob.
I had a...
No one asked you. Now, business. As you may have heard, I'm bringing the Ghostly and Geist franchise back from the dead.
Really? Those are my favorite pictures, boss. I like that there's always some kind of funny tie-in with the title.
Well,
What?
you ain't seen nothing yet.
What's this one called, sir?
The Cheeky Railway Ghost.
Ooh, spooky.
There's one little problem. Juliana Miller.
Ooh, I like her.
She's obviously the target, you fool. Terrible gal. Hate that dame.
How dare you say something rude about a woman? No one likes a brown noser, right, Bob?
Right, boss.
Gentlemen, I called you in here because mere minutes ago I came upon Miss Miller alone in my office, behaving rather erratically. I suspect that she suspects something. And I can tell she has the potential to become quite the thorn in my side. We need to make her back down. We need to stop her from snooping around. I need you two to intimidate her. Yeah, that's right. Scare her. Make it so she doesn't come back to the studio.
But what if we get caught?
They could send us to the big house.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. For you. For all of us.
Wow. You're so brave, boss.
Yeah, like the line from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, sure thing. Here, you're gonna need something. I've got an idea. Take these. One for each of you.
Potatoes?
They're not potatoes, you sap. There's something else in the bags.
Be nice to Bob. Yeah. They're not potatoes, they're disguises. Now, go on, you two. Get out of here. I can't believe this. That scoundrel Brooks is sending those ruffians after her. Oh, I will stand for this. George!
Yes, I suppose you're right.
George!
Right again, old sport.
George! What?
You're lifting things!
So?
Fade to blackout. Intermission.
Ready as I can be.
Don't worry, Paul. This plan is knit. They'll enter through there and work their way in this direction.
Then I flicker the lights, you start your ghostly wails.
Then I join in, and we chase them right into the ropes and chains we've set up here.
I think I've got it.
You've got it.
Okay, boys, let's catch these creeps. What are you wearing?
The stuff the boss gave us?
What's on your head, Bob?
The bag?
Are you wearing the bag, Bob?
The boss said.
That's not what you meant. Take the bag off, Bob.
Alright, but if the boss hears that he went through all of his troubles, gave us this bag, and we didn't wear it, he's gonna get mad. And I'm blaming you.
Sneaky, 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 mischief up my sleeve. Sneaky, 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 you cannot see me. I'm a little ghosty, I am so sneaky. Ghosting through the hallways, I'm a little creep. Mischief, 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 yeah. But I don't say yeah, I just say boo cause I'm a ghost. Oh yeah. And by yeah, I mean boo. quiet, watching what you do. You can never hear me unless I want you to.
Fade to blackout. Brooks has an ice pack on his head and is angrily reading the newspaper in his office.
Lots!
It's me.
Oh, come in. Come in.
I brought you the contracts for the new actors.
Yeah, all right. Oh.
Wouldn't want you to have to come break down my door to get them. Are you all right, Harold? What's wrong with your head?
I'm fine. Just, something fell off my bookcase last night. It must have been a gust of wind or something. Oh. How are you? I heard, your place got sacked last night.
Oh, yes, but I'm just fine. Not a scratch.
Good. So they caught all of the conspirators?
Oh, sure. There's no evidence of any more men, just those two. A random attack could have happened to any one of the Victorians in LA. They just happened to be on Eagle. Guess it was just my lucky night.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you know no one's got it out for you.
Ah, yes, right. Well, I'd better get going. There's plenty to do and not much time to do it.
Good. Keep up the good work.
I always do.
Hey, thanks for springing us, boss. Listen, we're real sorry about last night, but I can explain.
Ghosts? Ghosts is your explanation? Are you serious? There's one measly gal in one old house, and you couldn't grab her because you were scared away by ghosts. Oh. And British ghosts, no less. I suppose it was King George and the fifth of his jolly good men out of his guard. Oh, I never worked so hard on anything in my whole life. I'm beginning to think this might require a stronger touch.
Sir?
Yeah. If she likes ghosts so much, maybe it was time they were reunited.
Well, we met a guy in the slammer. He's a big guy. A little odd, but I think he'll get the job done.
Ah, some muscle. Bring him in.
Bring him in, Bob.
Hey, good work, Bob. I see why they call you the muscle.
Yes, I love seafood.
Excuse me.
Mussel. I love the shellfish, the clam, the oyster, the mussel.
I meant to say you look very strong and good.
Ah, but of course. Thank you. That is why they call me the bass.
The bass?
Ah, but of course. The Goliath grouper is a type of bass. It is the strongest fish in the world. It lives in Maine, Massachusetts, the Florida Keys, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, Brazil, the Congo, and Senegal.
Ah, yeah.
That is where I'm from.
Where?
Yes.
Maybe let's just go over the plan. Come here. Look at here. This Miller's gonna be stopping by the prop house, see? Right here. Sometime today. I don't know when. But you two's gonna be ready for her, right?
Fade to blackout. Scene 7. Afternoon. A dusty, dimly lit prop house. The bass is hiding and peeking from behind crates while holding a rope that is tied to a piano hanging from the ceiling.
All right, boys, keep your eyes peeled. Anything in here could be a smuggled ancient artifact waiting to be sold to some unsavory character.
Ugh. Look at all of this. It's positively disgusting.
Boy, this place gives me the white and proper creeps. I'm a ghost.
steps near large X mark below the piano.
I know, boys, but if we're gonna catch Harold, then we've got to find some hard evidence, and this prop house is our best bet.
Juliana steps directly below the piano. Some crates are knocked over. One of them falls open with hay and Egyptian artifacts.
Oh, you floating frying pan!
Dunk! No! Paul!
Well, this is it, George!
It can't be, Paul. It can't.
But I can't feel my legs!
Here it goes, Paul. You haven't got any legs.
Oh. Well, isn't that funny?
That was way too close. Paul, what have you got there?
It's...
Spit it out, Paul.
It's the golden baboon!
What?
What?
The golden baboon!
The label reads, property of Ernst Lubitsch. It traveled from Egypt, then Germany, then New York, and now here.
Ah! Now it makes sense.
It does?
The baboon?
The golden baboon!
Yes, the golden baboon was used in many death rituals in ancient Egypt. This must be from the pharaoh Medes' tomb. When we were on safari in Africa, I learned that the Egyptians, for a time, believed that when a great leader died, they were reborn on Earth as a baboon to live out a free life of leisure and to become one with nature.
And the crate's owner, Ernst Lubitsch?
Brooks mentioned his name during the sale. His German friend, Ernst.
Oh, and here it says, to the attention of Harold Q. Brooks. This is all the proof we need. We can get him pinched, bring him to court, send him to the big house.
And not a moment too soon. We'd better act quickly or Brooks might just take you out next time.
And you're a gorgeous bird. But who knows what being a ghost will do to your figure.
Couldn't do me any worse than yours.
Come on, let's get this thing to the police. It's time to put Harold Q. Brooks to a stop once and for all. You bring the baboon to the poppies. Paul and I will follow Brooks and make sure he doesn't make any sudden moves.
Or sudden movies.
Fade to scene 8. Evening, Brooks's office.
Yes, I read the papers. No, nothing to do with me. Of course. On an unrelated note, if any G-men come to the door, tell them you haven't heard from me. No, just tell them you haven't got a clue. Which is true half the time anyway. No, nothing. It was some birds in the background. I know, but the other buyers have all dried up. Juliana is on my tail, and she may know about Paul and George. I know, but those bricks just got in the way. I had no intention of killing them. They saw a fat man in the small door, and they couldn't help themselves from becoming a punchline. Oh, you won't be seeing me for a while. I've got to skip town. I'm leaving on the next train out. No, don't tell that to the law if they come. I love you too, Mother. Good night. Blasted woman. I'll miss her.
Brooks unlocks his drawer, opens his alligator briefcase, and puts the files and his diary inside, finishes his drink of juice, and wipes the glass out with his tie before putting the cup in his briefcase too. Then he begins putting awards, framed photos, paperweights, practically everything into this never-ending briefcase. He tries to close it, but it doesn't even come close. Then he takes a pen out of it, and it closes easily.
It was him.
Oh, mommy.
We thought Goodman got himself stuck by J.H. Clover's place, but it was Brooks all along. He got Goodman. And despite not really needing to, he got us.
We've been trailing the man what done us in. I haven't seen a twist like this since I fell off that penny farthing. We need to do something.
No.
He's gonna get away.
No.
On a train, no less. The irony.
You hit me one more time. I'm going to give you a what for.
What's a what for?
I warned you.
Let's go before we both get hurt.
Fade to scene 9. Night, La Grande Station, LA.
Harold Q. Brooks, my dear, dear little boy.
Juliana Miller, my dear, dear girl.
I know what you did to Goodman, to Paul, to George.
And yet it's been so easy to get away with it. Not a sliver of evidence to find.
It won't be so easy to get away with it this time.
But won't it? I'm on the next train out, and you have no evidence. 5 minutes till my train? Not enough time to prove it.
Oh, but we already have.
Have what?
To the attention of Harold Q. Brooks. Contents, 1 golden baboon of the Pharaoh meanies.
How did you...
Oh, we found this and much, much more. If it weren't for the attack at the prop house, we may never have stumbled upon the expanse of your crimes.
But how do you know anything about Menges or the German filmmaker?
Oh, just a little help from my friends.
I don't know what you're playing at, but you won't stop me, Juliana. You won't get my company, and you won't get my money.
It's not about the money, Harold. Art for art's sake, remember?
Goodman isn't around anymore, if you haven't noticed. Art for art's sake. Ha! Art for my sake. Art for the dollar's sake. Take your pick, Juliana. In the end, it'll be me on top.
On top of what, Harold? Those are real people we work with. Real talent.
God, Juliana, you were always worried about the talent, even in the beginning. What do you actors want? How do you actors feel? When will the actors be ready? Jeez Louise, Juliana, who cares about actors?
We were talent agents. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's why I got ahead. Don't you realize that? I got way more clients than you because I got them better jobs. Better movies, better stages, and better pay.
You slimed your way to the top and you know it. Your clients hated you.
But they were getting paid, and they were making me rich. You think I cared about how they felt about me? And then you went and got Paul and George, the genius duo from across the pond.
They didn't want to make money the way you were making it.
And they died with nothing more than a small fortune because of it. They could have been making millions.
They were making people laugh.
They could have died rich.
They died happy.
I thought for sure you'd find a replacement after they kicked the bucket.
I wanted to hold on to them. Nobody could ever take their place.
You're so clingy. And you know what? I'm glad I knocked them off. There's so much scratch to be made, and none of you ever saw that.
There's not some amazing golden coin spinning in the sky for you to reach, Harold. You can't just create this mountain of wealth by crushing artists.
It's worked so far. And there's so much more. More land, more contracts. Can't you see that I've won more art? I own the studio. I own the rights to Ghostly and Geist. And best of all, you. I own you, Juliana. And if you don't keep quiet, I'll make sure you're blacklisted and you'll never work in this town again. I've won!
I'm taking the power back, Harold.
Ooh,
We're taking the power
what do you
back.
mean?
Every woman, every man, every single person that's ever had to work for a slime ball like you, you're headed to the pen for a very long time. George!
Brooks re-enters as a ghost. Fade. Scene 10. Morning. Brooks's office is nearly empty. Juliana is in her casting room, reading through the papers.
Come in. Hal!
Juliana, hi. Sorry about that whole mess with Harold.
Oh, I don't think about it anymore. I know he got what he deserved.
I want to show you something.
Mr. Lowe, sir, it's very nice to see you.
The pledge is all mine, Juliana. It's so great to see you again. We actually have something for you. If you would take a seat.
Hal?
Mr. Lowe is offering you a job, Juliana. We both would love for you to be the head of the California branch of the studio.
Is this for real?
Very real, Miss Miller. You're the best, and we need the best.
I accept.
Here's a second copy for your records. Now, I need to head back to New York. You're gonna do great, Mrs. Miller.
Juliana Miller, head of studio. Good work.
Paul is eating fish and chips, while George drinks a cup of tea from a fine cup with a saucer.
That's not how it works, Paul.
But we're poltergeists. We can lift things up, put them down, interact with things. You said so yourself.
Yes, but we'd be invisible, Paul.
Just like the beginning of our careers.
What are you two going on about?
George doesn't think
Paul
that
wants us to make another Ghostly and Geist film, but I keep telling him it's not possible.
Well, ghosts aren't known for showing up on film very well, but the way science is moving along, who knows where we'll be in a few years.
Well, I'm not holding my breath, mostly because I haven't got any lungs. Say, what are you doing in this office, Juliana? Oh, this is fantastic, love!
This is mint. Congratulations.
I owe it all to you, the movies, the franchise.
You'll certainly do better than that smarmy Harold Brooks.
Much better.
I appreciate that, boys. I couldn't have done it without you.
Remember, Juliana.
You're the best talent agent in the colonies.